This NBA playoffs has a ton of potential to be one of the best we've seen in recent memories. The West is really any man's game, and I'm really looking forward to a potential Joel Embiid versus Giannis Antetokounmpo Eastern Conference Finals if the Sixers can beat the Celtics. But in today's video, we are going to be talking about some of the must-see possible first-round matchups. We have three that we're going to be picking out of today, and it's really hard to kind of concretely, make a decision on these based on the fact that there still is a week left to the regular season, and the standings, especially in the Western Conference, are very subjected to change. But we are going to be making this video assuming that everything stays the same. So just take this video with a little bit of a grain of salt and realize that yes, this is subject to change, and these are kind of sort of fantasy what if scenarios. There was no basketball today, so I was not going to upload a video, but I really just can't stay away from posting, as today makes 36 videos in a row uploaded. If you guys do want to support the channel, please be sure to consider hitting that subscribe button, as we are on the road to 2,000 subscribers. Without further ado, let's get straight into this first matchup, the Lakers versus the Grizzlies. So right now, the Lakers are somehow the 7th seed in the Western Conference, as the Grizzlies are the 2 seed. So if the season were to end today, then yes, they would match up. I think this series would create so many media bites, so many headlines, so many iconic clips. We have the potential to see Dylan Brooks get humbled, which would be absolutely amazing. There's been a lot of talk that the Grizzlies are, quote unquote, as Ja Morant said, fine in the West. And then you go and compete against the Los Angeles Lakers, who have been bottom feeders the majority of the season. I think if they were to lose in a 5, 6, or 7 game series, even a sweep, I really doubt that would happen. But I digress. If they were to lose in any fashion, they would just eat those words, and I could see the Grizzlies, as young as they are, potentially start to panic a little bit, because they have always kind of been, whether they're a high seed or a low seed, no one really is taking them seriously, and I think that might need to change. I would really look forward to the Anthony Davis versus Jaren Jackson matchup, assuming they both stay healthy, just because of the fact that Anthony Davis is obviously one of the most gifted bigs in today's game when he's healthy, and then Jaren Jackson on the defensive side of things is one of the most gifted bigs. Per Ja Morant's absence, Jaren Jackson's also looked 10 times better on the offensive side of the ball. That would be a really great thing to see. And then lastly, it's obviously always absolutely amazing to watch LeBron James go out there and try to perform in the playoffs. I think this Lakers team has received so much heat, from myself included, in most of the NBA media, and it would just be really awesome if they made the playoffs and then won in the first round and shut everyone up, including the Grizzlies. They are such a cocky and confident roster, and I definitely love that, but there is a very thin and fine line between arrogance and cockiness. I think this Lakers and Grizzlies series would be one for the ages. I really hope the Lakers don't match up with the Nuggets first round, just because, like I said, there's not really the media spark that there is compared to this series, at least. The second dream matchup I would have for the first round is another Western Conference matchup, which, by the way, the Suns and the Clippers would be an amazing first round matchup. They are not going to be featured in today's video, but I just thought I would say that would be an amazing matchup. The second one we're going to be talking about is the Kings versus the Warriors. I think this would be absolutely amazing for the media and headlines and all those things I said before. It's the new kids on the block and the Sacramento Kings versus the defending champions, the Golden State Warriors. You have two of the most electric and loud fan bases, and they're both California residents. I think this would be a crazy series. There would be more fans at both home and away games representing, obviously, because the arenas are a 45-minute bus ride from one to another. I think now that Andrew Wiggins is reportedly going to make his return in the following week, that this is just great news for the Warriors. The Warriors obviously have one of the top 3 win records at home, and then a bottom 2 road record. So this playoff series is just going to be absolutely insane. This is the first time we're going to get to see Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox performing in the playoffs. This is the first time as a duo, and not only that, this is going to be the first time we're watching the Sacramento Kings play in the playoffs in around 12 years. I'm really stoked to see what kind of energy and atmosphere Kings fans have. I feel like even if they got gentlemen swept and just won one game, I feel like one game or one series is enough enough to just kind of satisfy Kings fans for now, and then maybe next season you're more honed in on how much winning actually means. But like I said, I think the atmosphere and the electricity that this series would bring would be absolutely amazing. Now granted, like if the Clippers fell to 6, then I wouldn't be really surprised if, you know, that series was just as electric. But I just think this series, you know, considering, like I said, the Kings are the new kids on the block and the Warriors are the defending champions, I think this would be an amazing series for both of them. The #1 rated offense in the NBA versus a historic offense in the Golden State Warriors. This would be one for the ages. I think Klay Thompson and Draymond Green, as they're both coming up on contract extensions, or, you know, this is the last year of their contract, each of them have a little bit to prove in the playoffs. I have no idea what this Golden State Warriors team is going to look like next season. This may be, as sad as it sounds, the last run of that core 4, core 3. I'm not sure they're going to be able to give Draymond Green a max if they're paying Poole and they decide to play Klay. So we could see Draymond in some new threads next season. That's a different topic for a different video, but like I said, this would probably be the #1 series I would want to see, right behind the Grizzlies and Lakers. And then lastly, the third one that I think would be absolutely amazing is a matchup out east, and it is the Heat versus the Celtics. I think for the most part, other than that Knicks and Cavs series, it's going to be pretty much teams just rolling over other teams. Like the Bucks are not going to lose to the Hawks, the 76ers are not going to lose to the Nets, and then like I said, the Cavs and Knicks, it's going to be a pretty interesting series. I just don't see it. I mean, it's going to be an interesting series because it's basketball at the Garden. Like, what do you guys expect? But as far as the narrative and the media and the headlines and, you know, the atmosphere goes, playing in the Garden and then going out and playing in Miami, as these two met and went to 7 games in the Eastern Conference Finals last year, most people were dubbing that as the finals last year because of how intense it was. We obviously know, I've said it a million times, it feels like, on this channel, that it came down to one final shot Jimmy Butler took in transition, and if he made that shot, they might make the finals, yada yada yada. You guys know the story. I think Jason Tatum has something big to prove this postseason. As young as he is, his finals performance last season was borderline atrocious. As Jimmy Butler is eligible for an extension this offseason all the way to 2026, I think this really does say a lot about his future with the team. Obviously, I think I don't bet or anything, but I think if you were to go on like FanDuel or DraftKings or any of the sports books, that the Celtics would be tremendously favored in this affair. I just think this is going to be a lot. You know, this Heat team has so much culture, and it's really sad to say that this might be the last ride if they flame out and lose to this Boston Celtics team. Kyle Lowry's getting up there. He could retire. Like I said, Jimmy Butler might be on the move. Tyler Hero, I'm not sure what's going to happen with him. He just, you know, got a huge bag this offseason. Obviously, Bam Adebayo is pretty young, but I just don't know if this team is really ready to run it back after they had such a weird season like this. Like I said, they were the #1 3-point shooting team in 2022, and this season they are the they're the 28th, not the 30th, the 28th worst 3-point shooting team in the NBA. This postseason is just going to be super interesting, guys. But what do you guys think? Out of these 3 matchups, which one are you looking forward to the most? I appreciate your guys' support as always. If you made it this far, you know I appreciate your support. Have a great rest of your day. Stay happy, healthy, and blessed. Peace.